The forest came alive after sunset, though no bird sang there and no wind had passed since dusk. Mara followed the narrow trail with a flashlight in one hand and her grandfather's brass radio in the other. The radio was an old thing from the 1970s, with a cracked screen and a dial that clicked like teeth. It had belonged to him when he worked for the weather station on Black Hollow Ridge, before the station was sealed and the mapmakers stopped naming the valley below. Mara had come for a simple reason. Her brother Eli had vanished there 3 nights ago. At first, the woods were only dark. Then they began to whisper. The sound drifted from the trees in dry, secretive bursts, as if dozens of mouths were hidden in the bark. Mara froze and switched off her flashlight. In the sudden blackness, the whispers grew clearer, brushing her ears with her own name. Mara, this way. She spun toward the voice, but the beam of her light found only trunks slick with moss and hanging veils of lichen that looked uncomfortably like gray hair. The air smelled of wet soil and something faintly metallic, like old batteries warming in the rain. Then the radio crackled in her hand. A woman's voice, thin and distant, emerged from the static. Do not answer them. They repeat what they steal. Mara nearly dropped the set. Who are you? Your grandfather worked at the station. He heard them first. They live in the shadows the moon leaves behind. Mara stopped breathing. The moon, filtered through the canopy, cast no clean light here. Every branch created fractured darkness on the ground, and those shadows seemed to drift a half step out of sync with the trees that made them. A shape moved ahead of her. Eli, she whispered. The figure turned. It had her brother's jacket, her brother's height, her brother's awkward slouch, but the face was dim, as though made of smoke behind glass. When it spoke, it used Eli's voice, soft and pleading. Mar, come closer. It's cold. The radio hissed violently. The woman shouted over the static. It's not him. They used the last thing you loved to bring you nearer. Mara backed away, heart pounding. The false Eli smiled, and the smile stretched too far, splitting the shadow where a mouth should have been. From every tree, the whispers rose at once. Not words now, but copied voices. Her mother calling her in from the porch. Eli laughing in the kitchen. Her grandfather warning her not to listen to the dark between sounds. Mara remembered the old station logbook her grandfather had hidden in the attic. One line had been underlined 3 times in his shaking hand. If the shadow speaks, the light has already failed. She raised the radio to her ear, and the woman's voice, now sobbing with urgency, gave her one last command. Turn on every light you have. They cannot cross bright, steady light. Not flickering. Not moonlight. Steady light. Mara fumbled for the spare batteries in her pack, and slammed them into the flashlight. The beam flared white and hard, slicing through the trees. The whispers screamed. For one terrible second the forest was full of moving darkness, countless human-shaped voids recoiling from the light. In their center stood Eli, or what was left of him, pale and hollow-eyed, as if something had been talking through his skin for days. Then the shadows rushed inward, folding over him like a closing mouth. When the noise stopped, the forest was still again. Mara ran until the trail ended at the rusted fence of the old weather station. Inside the broken building, she found a room lined with mirrors turned toward the walls, every one cracked from the inside. On the desk sat a radio just like hers. Its dial was already set to her voice.